Welcome everybody here to the coverage of the D2CL, coming to you from the Joiner studio right here in Berlin. I'm Toby1, I'll be the English host for your live stream tonight as we're going into a double header. That's right, Na'Vi are facing up against both Team Empire as well as up against Hellraisers in their series for tonight. Let's go directly into our draft because it's already underway. In we go, and I can give a warm welcome to the man who'll be joining me for the first series of tonight, not dropping the knowledge bombs, and that is Clairvoyance. Welcome.
Hello, Mr. Toby1 Kenobi. It's been some time and good to see you as always.
Yeah, hasn't been as long though, because we did get to cast the other day.
Yeah, that's right, that's right. So I'm glad you remember. Oh, touches my heart.
I would never forget, man. I'll never forget. In fact, ever since I've been resting better and trying to live a more balanced life, the memory's coming back. I'm remembering good stuff.
That's great, that's great. How's your CSGO venture in Romania, by the way?
Ah, it was wunderbar.
Ah, I see.
It was great. It was great. I'm loving doing both. I'm loving doing both.
Sure.
5 seconds remaining.
I was just surprised when I heard about the venture. I just didn't know you were away from the studio, and when I heard, I said, "Oh yeah, I know you for being able to cast multiple games in the past, and good to see that you're keeping in touch with the other stuff. It's great. Of course, Dota is still #1, the first of Valve's games, but CS:GO, a very, very dynamic scene and riddled with many interesting things."
Behold the horn of madness.
You know what? Tonight, man, actually, I gotta say this first. Technically, Valve's first game was not Dota. Just gonna throw that one out there right now. Unless you're talking about the current ranking system for you. At which point, I think everyone should be open to everything. It's fine. It's fine. You don't have to be one or the other. You can be a friend to all. Be a friend to all. All right.
That's true. That's true.
Let's actually get into the game because I want to talk about this draft already. We saw Dendy drafting yesterday through all their games, and he did prioritize drafting that Magnus, and I'm surprised that Yoki in this game is actually drafting him in the first two as well. Thoughts?
I mean, what can I say? Yoki, you know, that player sitting on that blue side, that boy a beast. I don't know what else to say. You know, you want to talk about the draft, Toby. I want to talk about this Yoki guy for a second. You know, ever since he splashed on the scene a couple months back for this new Empire roster post TI, you know, Empire, that team that everybody knows, you know, before the TI season, it's just like the polar opposite of Na'Vi, where they start crushing everybody and all of a sudden TI hits and they crumble. But this guy, man, he might be the difference maker, and boy am I glad that he's not getting poached by Na'Vi this time around, because this man right here, Toby, this guy's going to change the CIS scene. I firmly believe that when I first saw his Doombringer against was it EG? Like some tier 1 teams that they like started beating like crazy. I think it was Secret actually. The Doombringer that went beyond God like 2 games in a row, and now he's taking the drafter's position on his team that he joined as the latest member. I don't know what to say. This guy's a beast. He's gonna be the new S4 of Dota.
I'm wondering if he's also the man doing the calls. As far as like where are they going to head, because normally that's done by one of your supports. I know Resolution used to do it himself, but when playing as the mid solo, he wasn't really looking to do that either. Is it possible for the third position to play to actually be the in-game caller?
The shot caller? Yeah. Again, I'm not too sure. I know that I'm not sure if this matters too much, but his background is Korean. I believe he's a last name Kim guy, Young Kim, I think might have been his name. But yeah, he's a Korean dude in Russia, I believe, and again, latest addition to the team. I mean, he's certainly proved himself worthy enough to be able to make the shot calls, and given the hero picks that he's taking here, as you said, with the Magnus second pick, sort of like a block/deny pick to Na'Vi, who's been picking him up in the first phase every game, and he himself playing like offlane Earthshaker and Sanking. By the way, the only player that plays offlane ES and Sanking in this current meta, in this current patch right now, is him.
As Yoki.
Yeah, it used to be a thing in the previous patch, but that got weeded out pretty fast ever since the rubber banding options kind of got implemented into the game, and people started picking Spectre, for example, which are like, or other global initiation type of things, which are really good at shutting down these time precision related blink initiators like Sand King and Earthshaker. But yeah, he's pulling it off in Empire, man. They're the only team that, honestly, they pick Dazzle, Tuskar so often, and here's the Dazzle right now. I don't know what to say, man. This guy's incredible. This team right now, in my heart, is #1.
And if they can prove it tonight, because I cast their matches yesterday, and it was a bit of a disappointment, to say the least. Actually, no, that was NIP. That was NIP that was disappointment. The game up against NIP and Empire was amazing, but it was NIP yesterday that was disappointment.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, no, Team Empire, they've been superb. Correct that one.
5
I have a name for
remaining.
you, Maxim. His name
Maxim
is
Kim.
Maxim Kim. Like,
Listen to that name, Maxim Kim. That guy wants to be the president of Russia.
The picture that we have over on our Join Dota database, someone should really find a screenshot of this, especially like just to get Yoki's name out there. He's wearing a hoodie which says, and I'm fairly certain because the bottom part of it's cut off, "He is a party." Is what his hoodie says.
Dude, this guy, every time I see this guy, I'll always say the same phrase. You know, that boy a beast. Like there is nothing else that comes to mind. This guy is he's incredible. He is actually so good at Dota. And Maxim Kim, man, just watch out, Vladimir Putin. Yeah, he's about to get put out of office from this guy. Goodness.
Our draft is coming to an end almost. We've got Na'Vi picking up Sniper. Great. Venomancer VS as well as the Juggernaut pickup. We did see it was Force who played the Juggernaut in the game the other night. So I'm assuming we're going to be seeing something similar here. And that means that the last hero that's left for Dendy to draft into is potentially Phobos' hero. Support Venomancer. I can't remember which game it was that we cast a couple of days ago. That ran a support Venomancer, but it was very underwhelming. I think it was actually the NIP game last night where we're wondering if it would be like a Drow Ranger or something like that to give everyone, because they ran a Viper and a Drow together. Sorry, a Viper and a Venomancer together, thinking that may be enough aids to win all battles, but it wasn't. I remember that was a loss. I'm trying to actually remember the details of the game, but it's not there. Either way, I'm looking at this Na'Vi lineup. It's okay for the laning phase. I don't have a problem with that. The issue I'm going to be having is the fact that I'm not quite sure if Na'Vi are capable of finding kills. Primarily because of the control factor coming out from the Earthshaker and the saving grace that arrives from the Dazzle.
Yeah, it's certainly going to be difficult. I mean, you just look at the lineup difference, and so far, I would say Empire, they don't have a good sniper catcher type of hero, which is usually a major concern for teams that don't have that against a sniper. But first of all, this is Empire, and secondly, Na'Vi in the same way, they don't really have that much of a great gap closer. They have the Vengeful Spirit, which usually combos up really nice with Sniper, the other hero being like something like Clockwork. Just the ability to protect this hero while he dishes out his massive amounts of damage and his AoE slow through the shrapnel from a very safe distance is what really threatens the enemy. And Empire going for the Ember Spirit, which is, I guess you can consider that sort of a jump in. Personally, I would say Na'Vi, they're definitely a lot stronger in the physical damage department. Like, they have much better Roshan capabilities, for example, and they are on the Dar side. But Empire, their team fight is looking way scary, and if they get the right jump, they might just team wipe with Na'Vi before they can react.
I'd actually feel that like, even if Na'Vi do win the fights in the early stages, unless Dandy is so big as that Sniper, I think they can come up to high ground. You're talking about the team fight potential of Team Empire. I'm also thinking about their defensive nature. Between the Medusa, who just wants this game to go late game. The Sniper might be ripping her apart at some point, but if she can keep neck to neck with the farm, then I wouldn't see much of a problem for her. Plus, she's going to get the buff up from the Magnus. Yeah, you're not looking for Cleave, but you're looking for the buff anyway. And the Ember Spirit. With Sleight of Fist, I'm not sure Na'Vi can breach high ground as they run this Venomancer core. The late game could really turn on them if they're not too careful.
Yeah, it's certainly not easy. I guess, as you said, the biggest thing is for Sniper to get his early items. But they are rotating out of their bases now, and we'll see how the lanes unfold here.
Yeah, then we will, as it looks like we will be having the Magnus going to the offlane, being played up by Yoki. Obviously showing the depth of Empire as their mid-solo. Resolution, who is a very renowned mag player, will be taking the Medusa towards that mid. As we get to watch the same build, and seriously, man, I've seen this done by almost every single team for any mid-solo now. 1 Wraith Band, 2 Ironwood Branches, and 2 Shared Tangos. And then the second they get the 100-100 rune, they bring out an extra set of Tangos to the mid lane.
Yep.
Instantly.
That's how it should be. If you don't bring that extra region, most of the time you'll just lose the lane because you'll get harassed to the point where you can't stay. I mean, you can stay in the EXP range at mid because it's relatively close. But yeah, you can't really stay in terms of like free CSing zone area type of thing. And even though, albeit Medusa's tankiness, you never want to be under the threat of being able to die. And Navi's lineup, they are very aggressive in the early game, as you said. So looking at it now too, we see Havos already skilling Blade Fury in the offlane with Vanscore, just camping a blind spot and looking to potentially find a kill, but no kill to be had. Empire already swapping lanes after scouting this out. Good adapting.
So they're going to run Yoki down the bottom lane, which puts an aggro trialing up on the top, and Empire's going a little bit old school virtus.pro.
Yeah, seriously.
Because this is what NS and Smile used to do all the time. That's why I'm also saying old school virtus.pro, not new school virtus.pro, because new school virtus.pro doesn't exist.
I got that.
It's a polar thing. Yeah, but their goal right now is to make sure this creep wave is blocked up enough, and actually it will be. This is real problems for Phobos, because the creep wave is at the perfect position. If Phobos walks basically past this line, then he's dead, because that's where Aloha Dance. Even though I'm surprised that Aloha Dance is not the first one to come out of this, it's always want to fly who's the one blocking him into that corner right now. They kind of need the Earthshaker Fissure first. Ah, that's why. They just cut through, which drags that line further up with the Fissure block into the touch. Empire, this will be first blood. With Searing Chains leveled up, they want the last hit on the offlane Ember Spirit silent, and they got it. It's in the bag.
In flames.
Yeah, giving that first blood is quite critical. He basically starts the lane with boots, and that kind of advantage already allows him to semi-solo zone the Venomancer. I mean, Venom's not really a hero that you can like crush in the lane, because as long as he gets levels as solo, he'll always be having the Plague Wards up. So it's going to be difficult for Ember as the lane progresses, but in the meantime, the early advantage and the damage has been done.
So Na'Vi have to go into a bit of a recovery mode as I realize I got to get my CS up on the board. Let's see how we're actually looking in the lanes, at least towards the middle lane, where Dendi has managed to go 4 for 1 up against Resolution at 3 for 3. So it's a pretty balanced lane as far as regeneration burning as well. Then he's already got his bottle coming out to him. Actually, no, he's going to run Boots first as the sniper. And Resolution still only halfway towards his bottle. But that's fine. And bottom lane, what do we got for Yoki? He's at 1 for 0. Havors really has been controlling this lane beautifully. 9-1 up against 1 for 0. Getting up in his face by the Orb of Venom. Making Yoki very defensive down here. But Yoki's still finding levels, which is probably the more important thing.
And as you can see, Havos constantly being on the aggressive here. Like, he's actually forcing his creep wave to push. And knowing Havos, you know, he's very good at controlling the lane, so he'll be able to deny out some of the creeps. But in the end, Yoki's still getting everything he wants here. I mean, he doesn't have much CS, but he's getting the levels. And Magnus, if he just gets the levels and stays alive, eventually he will find the mana boots, and all you really need is a kill or two to come back in the game. So Yoki's doing quite well, and of course Havos is doing the same. He's 14 CS, top of the board, compared to the 13 of the Ember on the other side of the map. But again, this is the offlane, and there's only so much pressure you can apply to a Magnus who has the skewer in pretty much a guaranteed safety method in this type of lane.
The only way to kill him is get him away from the creep wave and have level 6, so good luck to that. Havos he'll have to wait another 2-3 minutes before he's able to do such a thing. Watching Dazzle on this top lane, I'm wondering if they also want to keep the pressure on top, or if you should be adding more focus. Like, the Earthshaker is sitting in mid at the moment. Is it the time to kill off Dendi? Because Dendi's up a very, very long way. Like, you just need to block him there, if possible, in the mid. Just right there. That's the spot Aloha Dance wants to do this from. And the Dai don't have any vision of him. Even with the Observer Ward, it doesn't reach far enough to see the Earthshaker when he first comes out of the trees. They'll see him when he hits this point.
Ooh, Dendi. Nope, never mind. Looks like Aloha Dance is actually going to rotate top now, as the lane is somewhat pushed back, and I guess he's going to try to look for an opportunity for a play. Not sure if he will find one, though. I think the best thing is for him to just stack and kind of camp the runes at the moment. I don't think that he has too much follow-up. These cores on the side of Empire, they all really, really want levels and at least one critical item. Like, Magnus really wants Blink after Mana Boots, and you know what? They're actually
going top. Yep, it's actually quite simple. Phobos getting a little over-aggressive. It was at the exact same time as Goblak also started walking to the right, and they saw that happening. So Empire just decided to initiate. Aloha Dance is moving up for that. He's taking a very long time and really needs to go to the side shop and buy some boots. Because that's the reason why he wasn't finding the opening in middle, because he couldn't move fast enough to catch Dendi out, and he knew it. So the better thing to do was to go somewhere where he could be of use, which is top lane, throw the fissure, help out with the kill, and then he can pick up the boots from the side shop and move into somewhere else.
Illusion.
Oh, and you know what? It's a very small thing, but I really like what Vanscore just did. He noticed that because of the aggression at top, that the dual supports won't be able to rotate fast enough to camp or scout out the rune. So he started moving towards it. Unfortunately for Vengeful Spirit, her movement speed is below the average at 295, whereas Dazzle as well as Earthshaker move faster,
This
and ES also had moves. Yeah, it looks like there's some more aggression.
Yeah,
I think
the Fissure's going to block Golblack in, so he can't go anywhere. Vance will at least throw out the wave of Terran the Magic Missile, but
oh, yeah, he's dead too.
It's next to no damage. You got Searing Chains and Flame Guard still up from Silent, so Vance can try and run this out, but Always Gonna Fly is coming in to block his last little path, and Vance dead in the trees. There's no way out of this one at all. Kind of even forget a little bit about that burst heal that can come out from the Dazzle. When you're able to have the 2 illusions and the other 2 heroes, in fact all 3 heroes around him. So one way to go. Maybe Na'Vi can finally get themselves on the board, however, but Yoki waiting for the skewer. Havorce does not have ultimate, but he's going to go into the Blade Fury, which means Yoki must skewer himself away, but he lives. Unlike the players from Na'Vi on top.
Exactly. The most important thing is he's staying alive against this semi-aggressive dual lane type of thing going on, and even though Havorce is still getting all the CS he wants, the Ember Spirit's getting much more. Not only is he even on CS, but he has 2 kills as well as 1 assist to boot, and yeah, he's just farming up the neutral camp as well, skipping the creep wave, and when he gets level 6, he's going to be able to bottle up his supports as well if he's desires to do so. Yeah, there's the bottle now, and with level 6 again, he's going to be able to just TP back, remnant back into the fight or into the lane, and bottle up all the supports that are missing life points. In the meantime, Dendi versus Aloha Dance at mid.
Yeah, Aloha Dance has to turn to the Fissure. That's going to save his life for a little bit, but Dendi, the assassination, the range is way too far. They actually try to smoke him out of that one.
Yeah, I think he did. To no avail, unfortunately. I think he was a little bit too close to either the lion or the tower.
But that's not going to disjoint the assassination, though, because assassination even reveals Invis heroes, correct?
No, smoke breaks assassination.
Okay.
Yep.
Seems a little crazy that Smoke is capable of doing that with an Invis rune is not.
Yeah, smoke. You know, it does a lot of things in Dota. It's quite an item, which is why it's on a 12-minute limiter, 10-minute limiter. It's pretty good.
Alright, so Silent on the top. Vanscore has to back up. With this Ember Spirit up at level 6 right now, it doesn't take much for Silent to jump in underneath that tower. And with Phase Boots, he's always going to be able to run down that Vengeful Spirit. And if he does in fact jump with the Always Gonna Fly this close, one quick heal and that VS is toast.
Yep, Golblack's just camping the bottom lane in the meantime, looking for a play, but I believe Yoki is completely aware of this time, and of course he is only level 5, so I guess his rotation to the enemy safe lane doesn't do much, but it does keep him alive. Guaranteed safety.
Dire's middle
like they're almost trying to force Na'Vi to come back up here and defend against him.
Yeah, pretty much. Looking for a counterplay of sorts.
That'll give
even Silent,
level 6
digging deep into the woods. Holy smokes, he just broke all the trees.
Nowhere to juke right now. Maybe he thought Vanscore was up there, but Vanscore was in the more of the exposed position. They do see him, like the observer ward's pretty deep here. And there's that spirit jump we're talking about. He doesn't have mana for a Searing Chain, however, which is a bit of a problem for Silent. But he doesn't have enough damage. His phase boots were still on cooldown as well, so he wasn't keeping up with Vanscore.
I see. I thought what was gonna happen was Vanscore was gonna turn to stun because he's under the threat of death from the Flame Guard AoE. And then I thought Yoki would use the opportunity to try and skewer into him because it has 1,000 range, but I mean, he lives. Again, it's not really a big deal to get this Vanscore kill at the moment. The VS will probably give like 200, 250 gold, which is pretty good for the person that kills, but the assist gold will be like 30 and maybe like 50 EXP. Probably a little bit more actually, because it's just 2 people killing, but again, it's more of a map control movement than anything else. And again, Yoki is he's wandering around the woods, doesn't really have too much of an objective, but he's giving vision to his team at a critical time. And that's more than enough, honestly.
Hey, Vanscore even wants to try and deal with him. But down towards that bottom lane, what are we going to have? Silent coming in to try and finally do something against Havorce, because he's been down here farming his way out. Bump with spin, he can break free of the Searing Chain, so Silent doesn't really have any kind of control over him. But what he does have is a great chase mechanism through both phase boots as well as the drum charges.
Yeah.
All they need to do is just catch Havorce with, I'd say his ulti down as well as spin down, but the chances of finding both of those dead, both of those on the cooldown is pretty low.
Yeah. Ember versus Juggernaut's like a really weird relationship between the two, because both heroes, if you play it right, can never really kill each other. The way Ember functions in fights too is completely different from a Juggernaut, because Juggernaut, you want to get in there and just down into the nitty gritty and then just keep at it with the healing ward. The way Ember fights is just kind of Guerrero tactics. He just wants to kite with his 6-second sleight of fist and constantly spam out. Hopefully he has Empower or Battle Fury at the time and just keep applying the AoE damage from his cleave. So Yeah, both heroes, one's gonna chase after the other is just gonna try to avoid the other.
There's a chance in middle lane, which Aloha Dance has been begging for a while. He's hoping Goblik comes further with the aggressive ward on the Dire side. He's watching every single move that Goblik makes. Unfortunately for Aloha Dance, he knows he can't get really close enough to get this fissure off. So he's just sitting in limbo at the moment, just between the lanes. And decides against it to stay there any longer. There's too much easy farm on top, and this will give him his level 5 as well as the creep wave comes underneath the tower.
Yep. Meantime, Aloha Dance rotates top to try and get the farm in CS in general over there. Looks like he will find some. Not using his Fissure.
I'm kind of surprised that Phobos is such a non-factor in this game. I shouldn't be surprised with the 0 for 2 as far as his death count goes. Like, that's not great. We're also going to be watching Dendi die mid. Yoki's skewering up so he can RP. You need to RP so Dendi didn't attack, and the Trip Spirits just hit perfectly from Silent. Committal is high.
That's right there. When an Ember Spirit uses all 3 spirits to jump on you, usually they're saying you're gonna die. I don't care what happens to me next, because most of the time they don't really have a follow-up escape. But of course, when you kill the sniper there, pretty much all the damage source potential is eliminated aside from Havos TPing in.
Always when a Fly's in a lot of trouble.
Yeah. Going for the kill other side.
Yeah. Lion's the one to actually get the last hit for that one. Silence looking over at Phobos, but with his remnants on cooldown, he can't just jump across the map at the moment. But the funny thing is, I came to that bottom lane, and Dazzle had Shallow Grave on when he was at full life. He was just walking down towards his tower and just turned on the Shallow Grave. I'm assuming he thought he was going to get Omni Slashed.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not too sure if it would have made too much of a difference. There was so much damage coming out from Na'Vi that it was pretty much a guaranteed kill. I guess the only thing you could have done is kind of delay your death a little bit longer. To which, again, it's more of a positional thing than anything else. Empire Silent does rotate to the bottom lane. He doesn't have a remnant yet, and Havos not exactly aware of that. He's going to be just backing.
There's no reason to lose your T1 tower anyway. Empire in their current position, they could just assume an aggressive posture up against Na'Vi, and Na'Vi would back up. Because they're not ready to fight. Like, this sniper is nowhere near the position of having huge amounts of damage and still being able to survive during the engagement. You don't have your Lion Finger of Death just yet. Still don't have his Tranquil Boots up either. So the movement speed's not there, and you don't have to blink from him. The Vengeful Spirit doesn't have level 6 just yet, and items-wise, doesn't really want to swap into anything anyway because she'll die almost instantly. And the Juggernaut's still farming up as well. Na'Vi needs to buy more time, while Empire, they kind of haven't hit their sweet timing at this point either. Like, we're 13 minutes in, Yoki's hit some nice levels, that's definitely great. Okay, if they also kill off Aloha Dance, they need vision. There's the warp, which means noob!
Oh, he got stunned and still made the TP. That's Aloha Dance for you.
Just in the nick of time.
Yep.
But as far as Empire goes, I'm looking for their timing. The Ember Spirit doesn't want to fight yet. He's going Battle Fury after getting the drums as well as Phase Boots. So he's building in for that nice mid-game powerhouse. The Earthshaker doesn't have his Blink Dagger up just yet, and you're not looking at the Blink Dagger over on the Magnus. So there's no big initiation to come out from Empire. Everyone's just waiting until they hit their perfect items, and then they make the plays.
Yep. Pretty much. And you did mention Dendi earlier, how he's not at that power spike moment yet. He has his Mask of Madness, but he really needs like one more item, whether it's an SNY or rushing straight into Scotty, which is unlikely, or even a Maelstrom, which is somewhat more traditional. But overall, I'd say Na'Vi, in terms of finding their farm since the early game stages, they're doing a pretty darn good job, I have to say. Even DK Phobos, like, if you consider him as a 3-position hero this game, since Juggernaut and Sniper probably get farming priority over him, you know, he's pretty much neck and neck with the Magnus. I know he's 400 behind, but in the meantime,
Havos is in a lot of trouble here. There's an RP available from Yoki, so he can just skewer in, go for the RP, turns him around, and then Silent in with the Searing Chains as well. This was a smoke initiation started up by Na'Vi. They came and smoked 3 players behind the tier 1 tower on bottom. And then the Observer Ward, I don't know if it was actually scouting out what happened with the smoke. But either way, Empire played it perfectly. They backed up on their 2 cores, which was the Ember as well as the Dazzle. The Earthshaker kind of just wandered himself into a Juggernaut ultimate, even survived through the initial part of the ultimate. And it required a Blade Fury to then finish the job, and that meant there was no more immunity for Revorsed. He couldn't just spin and TP himself out to safety, because that was gone, and Empire, they wrap up 2 kills for the price of one.
Yep. And Yoki's got a blink now. So 14-minute and 30-second blink on the offlane Magnus, who was against the dual lane and had no CS in the lane. Again, right now, the current state of Dota is if you do stay alive and the enemy actually has a somewhat of gold advantage on you, it actually helps you a little bit more than before to get the return kill on them or the kill exchange on them, because then you'll just get more out of it. So this is the result. Again, he had nothing in the offlane. He didn't die twice like Phobos, and even though Phobos has similar in net worth kind of thing, he does have the blink, whereas Phobos doesn't really have a critical item yet. It looks like he is rushing straight into the Aghanim Scepter, which personally isn't my favorite. I really feel like the Aghanims is... Hold on. Aloha Dance just died in front of me, but... Yeah, looks like he got picked off by the sniper, and Yoki's rotating in. He doesn't have RP, but... Again, Aghanims is not exactly my favorite first item on Venomancer. I really feel like he needs one transition item.
You mean something like a Yule Scepter at least?
Yeah, like a Yule's or a mech, like whatever it is. Just first Aghanims is like first is like your Poison Nova is level 2 most of the time. It's not as efficient, not as strong. The cooldown's still 2 minutes. The only thing you really get out of it is just the stats, which is, I guess it's beneficial, but again, you might as well just get a transitory item for that. Like Yule Scepter offers the disable mana regen, and looks like Phobos is about to die.
Unless he can run this one out, but Yoki, he can't. No, he can't get in front of him. He's going to commit the RP, skewering back Phobos as well. If they need to, they can commit, and in fact, they will commit the Echo Slam as well. The Venomancer ulti got thrown out, but they'll shrug this off pretty quickly.
Most important thing is just to hinder his item progression, and that's exactly what they're doing.
That's when you want to have that survivability item, and that's where I can understand it. Like either Mech or Yule Scepter might have been allow you to escape from that. It would have been difficult because you got no tier 1 tower in the top lane, so support couldn't just come in very quickly. Silent, defensive spirit, yep. I didn't check the minimap, but I just saw Horse and Vanscore running in for him on the bottom lane. But should always assume that an Ember's got a way out.
Yeah. Again, with the Juggernaut and Ember, they can never really kill each other. The only thing they can do is just push out the lanes against each other, to which Juggernaut most of the time has favor. But that's more in the matchmaking scene than anything else. In competitive, nobody ever maxes Blade Fury. So.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Oh. I'm also going to take a tier 1 tower on bottom lane. They do fortify, but only because it's about to come off cooldown when the tier 1 tower drops.
Radiant's bottom tower has
I don't think Empire's too worried. They just lost a tier 1 tower, sure. They took one up on the top lane. Doesn't really matter. You got a Mana Style over on the Medusa now, so he's moving forward.
Drive-by snipe.
That Finger of Death range is really, really good. And then Dandy, he's going to kill as well. Always want to fly. He could try and Shallow Grave this, and I think that he knows it as well. That's why he's just beating into him. Keeps the damage coming, so there's no long duration cast time for an assassination. And 2 very quick pickups coming the way of Na'Vi. And they might even get a 3rd one. Bottom lane, no, San. He's got a defensive spirit as well as flame guard, so I doubt Horse wants to blow his level 2 ultimate.
Yeah, pretty much. I do want to say the Maelstrom had an effect in that small skirmish there. I think Always Wanna Fly had a timing on the grave, and the last Maelstrom proc there finished him off, gave him the execute blow before he was able to react. And again, 2 really nice pickups. Dandy now sitting at 3-1 as opposed to 1-1 from earlier.
Goldblight should be dead. Oh, no, Vanskull. Actually, TP's in for the swap here. Avors wants to catch up to Silent, but Silent still got himself a regeneration rune. But he got hit by the Wave of Terror, so he's not getting all of the regeneration he was hoping for from that. But Vanskull, Magic Missile, Avors has to come down and help him. He's got the Mask of Madness, he's got to trigger it to get down there in time. And, well, he's not in range. So it doesn't jump on Silent. And Yoki was also right behind him in the cover of smoke, giving Silent the buff up now. Are they really wanting to try this? I don't think they have enough damage.
I don't think they can do this. Again, Na'Vi have so much better.
They found someone. They found a Horse, but can they kill him in time? He needs to get the ulti off. He can't do so. The Fisher from Aloha Dance also helping out. Danny's going to inflict a large amount of damage from this high ground, though. With the other secondary shrapnel, he may as well just kill off the Dazzle. No assassination, because obviously Shallow Grave's going to stop that kill. And he didn't have the mana for it either.
Now they're pinging out the ward and realize it's there for sure, but I think which ward is expiring there? I can't tell.
You're talking about the Dire Observer ward, or?
Yeah. I can't tell which ward is expiring. Like whenever they have this overlap on the minimap, it's it looks okay. So the Dire ward expired, and I think that's the Radiant ward that's still there. So yeah, so they're gonna counter ward that. It's a fresh ward, but the Venom ward will be able to pick it off with the Vengeful Spirit.
Yep. Denny just got a little bit of a glimpse, and then again, maybe not. Echo Slam, plus the Blink Skewer.
Yeah.
Shut down Denny, nice and fast.
Yeah, real quick glimpse of his end right there as Resolution decides to poke at the mid tower, and looks like he will be able to find it. Phobos is at the back. Looks like he's gonna go for the deny, and the glyph, the game-ruining glyph.
We can't control the creep waves either. Looks like the Dazzle in the meantime has also been brought down, just a little bit further up from where we were watching from the Juggernaut.
I think some of Empire's movements, like their pickoffs, especially on these supports, it's getting a little bit careless, I think. They had so much map control, and I guess the Medusa presence at mid gave him the safety, like safe presence of mind type of thing. But yeah, I'm not sure if the Dazzle should be dying in those places specifically. It's hard to help the situation when you're dying under your own tower because Sniper's range is so ridiculous. But when you're just dying so aggressively without putting down wards, just getting a little bit too comfortable with the enemy zone.
I love these greedy kind of supports. We got ourselves a 20-minute Earthshaker.
Oh gosh, yeah, he actually did it. I had a feeling he might have, but I didn't say anything because it's a Loa dance. He's a playmaker, but he did it.
He might be regretting it in a moment, as that Venomancer roll is going to work. Phobos getting swapped away. The Shockwave will connect on him, but there's a 1 charge to keep him alive. Vanscore with a 1 attack into the shallow grave. The Earthshaker will survive back in base. That's both Gale as well as Nova.
Oh, so
but
close.
yeah, the shallow grave lasted long enough that only one of them was left when the grave turned off.
Really nice grave. I always want to fly there. Nice weave too. I mean, it didn't really block much of the damage because it was magic damage, most of it. But it did give them the presence that they needed to force the Vengeful Spirit to say there's more heroes than what meets the eye, and we need to back.
Well, where's Na'Vi going to head now? With the Mask of Madness and Healing Ward, I'm surprised Na'Vi haven't just tried to go in for Roshan already. But that might also be because Empire's adding pressure. And Empire can contest, but when they do spot out something like the Earthshaker going for the Midas, they have to be very much aware that there's only really 2 jump things. One's the RP from the Magnus, and the others are the spirits from the Ember Spirit.
Yep.
Which basically means there's only 1.
Yeah, I mean, Empire, they've definitely demonstrated time and time again. They have great pickoff and teamfight in general, with the Ember as well as the Magnus. Earthshaker always initiates with the Fisher, which guarantees the skewer back, almost functioning like a Bat Rider combo. But yeah, Na'Vi looks like they want to approach it now. They certainly can. They have so much damage. From the beginning of the game, you can tell, like, this lineup with Juggernaut VS, Roshan is always a potential possibility.
I would also be very careful if I was Empire coming into this, because they're gonna lose a player very, very quickly. Yes, there's no Venomancer ultimate, but when you're able to put Shrapnel that covers, as Denny did, this area here, and then you've also got Finger of Death, you get down the ramp, and then the Finger of Death is going to take one of your heroes straight away. So Empire don't do anything to try and contest this. The Aegis Immortal goes into Dendi, and the Roshan goes the way of Na'Vi. While Goblex managed to walk all the way up to top lane and scout out both the Ember Spirit as well as the Magnus. He shouldn't die right now.
I think he's just going to get scouted out.
Okay, now he should, because the force is coming over. So he started with the Hex, follow up with the stun. Finger of Death still available here for Goblex. He's going to throw it before he dies. The Vorce does have the ultimate as well, but he's got 3 heroes. I don't think he's got a choice. He has to throw the ulti out, but the RP, the VS swaps him out. He's still alive, but the Echo Slam will ensure he drops. Phobos does throw the ulti out, so it's going to be a little bit more trouble here for Team Empire to get away and also keep up with Vanscore. He tried to turn the Ember Spirit, though, able to get the Searing Chains off. Aloha Dance will TP himself back to base. There's no damage to kill him off, but Stalin has no mana, and for some reason, the courier was trying to deliver items to him and went underneath the Plague Wards. That had its Crystallis on it. So the courier will also get sniped up on top lane.
Yep. Well, nice pickup by the wards, the Plague Wards, of course. I think the Ember Spirit, yeah, he dropped the Remnant. He's probably going to proceed to return to the lane with full bottle and full regen. Again, nice pickup by Phobos again. It's unfortunate that they lost the fight. Phobos was so close to getting his Omni Slash off, but that nerf from 450 range to 350 range coming into play there, and possibly the cast point, cast time on it. But regardless, nice stun lock from Empire, just following up on the Juggernaut after Blade Fury died.
The Aghanim Scepter has arrived, by the way, for Phobos. I'm surprised too, and I do have to correct myself after I realized the fact that Venomous Gale is only level 1. I thought he'd at least have a second point inside of that, but that's the reason why I was a little bit more skeptical. I thought there would have been a kill when they TP'd him back before under the Shallow Grave protection.
Yeah, it's really nice to get it, but again, Venomancer skills, you really need the max play wards, and I guess Poison Sting you can kind of skimp out on, but it's just so good with the synergy from Plague Wards that it's hard to choose what's the perfect build or the right build. It's just one of those things that you have to accept it and move on.
Well, he gets a second point now, so at least it does damage. So it's no longer that. I kind of still wish too the Valve would fix it, where you can deny a unit when they're under like that dot effect, but there is no dot effect with Venomous Gale. It's literally
level 1, right. Yeah. I agree. I think
it's been broken for a year now or something.
I think you shouldn't be able to deny level 1 Gale, but level 2 Gale deny should be fine.
Yeah, level 2 Gale deny is fine, but just level 1, maybe not.
Yeah.
Alright, they're actually giving more farm over to Goldblack right now. That's the reason why they let him have just a couple of those last hits in mid. He's got 2k. So Navi's starting to get better initiation. The Vengeful Spirit's got Medallion as well as Urn, so she's really happy with everything. You've still got this Aegis Immortal over on Dendi, and it'll be there for another 2 minutes. So Navi want to try and force some kind of engagement.
Yeah. To be completely honest, normally I would say Lion with Blinks completely change the game and have tremendous amounts of impact. I'm not sure if this is one of those games, and the thing is they do have the right pieces to identify and give themselves vision for it. Like the Sniper Shrapnel gives huge amounts of vision, the Venomance rewards are just presence all around the map as well. But for example, if you're trying to lock down an enemy Ember Spirit, chances are it's hard to do it from behind because Ember is already a click disruptor. He has like 2 spells that makes him really hard to click. One is the Fire Remnant and the other one being Sleight of Fist. So you lose your targeting. And then the other thing is they have just so much long range initiation and stuns in general. Like Yoki's always been following up to the Fissures, and not to mention the Fissures themselves. And even if you do get the lockdown, you know, where is this Dazzle? If he's got the ranged Grave on him, then you're not really going to be able to burst down the target. So Empire definitely have the correct countermeasures, but I guess the biggest problem now is that Sniper is just getting massive again.
And because when that happens, like if we look at it from a different angle and say, well, it's not the initiation from the Lion. If you can get a kill with that, sure, that's brilliant. But it's the stayability that comes out from Na'Vi. So then he can just sit on the back lines, just spam out as much damage as he wants to. They get the Venomancer to the front lines, get that Aghanim's ulti off. Empire will never really be able to push if they get 5. Actually, they never will be able to push if they get 5 heroes hit by that Nova. If that happens, then they just have to fall back or heal up or take some time inside the jungle before they'll be ready to push again. So in that time, you still have to remember, Na'Vi get a slight upper hand, and they should be able to take out the fight, because Phobos makes the buffer. Denny brings the damage, and the VS as well as the Lion give potential options for kills here and there, and Avors just does his own thing. If he's successful, they win the fight heavily. If he's not, then, well, maybe it's a bit of an even trade. Goldblack, middle lane, assassination, he's dead. Avors just comes in for the last hit. The only damage he did to help out with that.
Yeah, honestly, this game it's getting to that point where both teams have so much capability and method and tools to win that all that matters at this point is just positioning and initiation. Again, I do believe that Empire has a superior straight-up 5v5 fight just because of how powerful Medusa, Magnus, and Roshan can be. But at the same time, Na'Vi, they're not short on damage at all, and all they really need is a good jump as well as a good VS swap to start things up. So both teams certainly very capable. Again, a lot of the pickoffs this game have been in like positional, I would say, errors in general, like just standing a little bit too far out or standing a bit carelessly or unaware of like the opponent's damage as well as how much they can dish out from a specific point. So both teams will have to watch out for that, especially Empire now too, because this Sniper, again, he's getting so huge, and we've seen games where Sniper just dishes out incomparable amounts of damage from a range, and you just can't catch up to him because you don't have that gap closer.
Notice what Phobos is doing right now. Empire smoked up underneath the Dire Observer Ward. So what he's trying to do is trying to break the smoke by throwing the Plague Ward up on the high ground, just coming close enough that someone would think about initiating in on him, but not actually close enough that they would be able to kill him off straight away. So he could still get the Nova off. And when he's walking around with the Helm of Iron Will, and he's getting very close to finishing that Veil of Discord. Once he's managed to pick that up, then getting that initial blast kill is going to be very difficult. Low Dance jumps in, but he's not going to find Avors, who just spins himself away as quickly as possible.
Good objective movement coming out of Empire as well. They scouted out the Juggernaut, saw that the healing ward was down from the previous poke at the mid lane earlier between the Ember as well as the Medusa. Decided to pursue him out on the Ancients, forced him to back, and now aware of the fact that healing ward is down, they decide to take this semi-push. But yeah, it doesn't look like they're going to commit, which I agree with as well. I think both teams have to actually wait for next Roshan before they really want to make a committing move. And never mind that, because they're actually going back to mid again. With the tower being so low, they're committing, saying that they can kill it.
Well, it's kind of okay just to take out the tower. They don't need to take the fight. Like, if there's an option for one, like Phobos is dropping quite low right now, but you just put Resolution on the front lines with his shield up, and he'll slowly chip away at the tower.
Oh.
Okay, that'll work too.
Yep.
all that wonderful life points and stats counts for absolutely nothing, as Phobos is now dead to one sleight of fist. Searing Chains as well.
Yes.
Yeah, I really miss this hero. This hero's ability to hold out pushes and hold out the game, just delay it once he gets like 5-6 slots, it's unparalleled. It's so nice to see just one sleight of fist. It's so satisfying to see, like when a Magnus RPs and then you sleight of fist and everything just dies. It reminds you of those olden days when Sven came in with one big cleave that did 1.5k damage and everybody just disappeared from the map. Very satisfying.
I don't remember that being satisfying. In fact,
it depends what you're rooting for.
I remember one moment when Aoi was just like, he cast one ability and then said, "I am useful." Yeah. He would drop so quickly to any kind of combination like that. I just feel sorry for supports. It's kind of like watching Broodmothers play when they play off lanes. And you just realize that supports or anyone who's not really a strength-based hero, it's not going to survive the initiation, or even just the range harassment, let alone initiation.
Yeah, theirs is generally not geared to have defensive capabilities to stay alive, like the Juggernaut with the Blade Fury or anything like that. No magic immunities coming out of them. Most of the time it's just jumps, initiations, vision, disables, and if you get the jump on by a hero that has 10k net worth on you, chances are you will fall. So, it's a hard life.
Empire's going to try and make their life a little bit easier. We've got two heroes moving up to the top lane, and they're looking for a kill over on Phobos. Blink, RP will be committed, which means they'll definitely get the Searing Chains. And that's one very dead Venomancer. And now he's having even more trouble keeping tabs in all of this. They're losing their Observer Wards inside their own jungle as well, while Empire are holding at least one of theirs.
Ooh, Havo's going in for a nice play there, and he's actually finished up a BKB. Realizing the urgent necessity of having that immunity in the fights because there's so much magic damage and disables coming out of Empire. Of course, again, the problem is Medusa's Stone Gaze as well as Magnus's both pierces.
So, you say nice play before from a Vorst, and then he Omni Slashes onto a solo here like Earthshaker who already picked up a Ghost Scepter. So he's just blown his entire ultimate on a hero he was never going to kill.
Yeah, that's the 4 life. Not sure what to say, but you know, I don't think he would have been able to click the hero fast enough then to just go for it. Again, it sucks, but I don't think he loses much. I don't think there's gonna be a major engagement in the next 75 seconds or so. Or even if there is, due to Roshan popping up at a unforeseen time, I think it'll still be up by the fight because of delays and whatnot. So they're scouting out the Ember Spirit. Of course, there is no innate lockdown coming out of the Juggernaut, but they are rushing over the Vengeful Spirit, who only has level 1 swap.
Silent.
Oh, and the Lion Catch.
Very well caught out right now. He actually not very well caught out. He is just caught out.
Oh, there
he
it
missed
is.
He actually dodged.
Yep.
Finger of Death not going to connect. Always want to fly. He's only barely alive because of the Shallow Grave, but Phobos will still get the kill. So either way, Na'Vi do get a pickup, but up on top lane, Aloha Dance will force them to come back. So they can't just jump in and take a Roshan, which is probably what they want to do while this Dazzle is down.
Yeah. You know what? That Omni Slash actually came into play there too, because if he had
Bring your mic back to your face, Clairvoyance.
Pardon me?
Bring your mic back to your face. You keep going quiet every now and then. I'm assuming your mic's moving away from your head.
I see. Is this better?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. Yeah, so I just wanted to point out that what you said about the Havos was correct. I think if he had the Omni Slash there, it would have made a difference and gotten the kill on the Ember, and that would have been relatively huge. Regardless, they're still getting the Roshan though.
Yeah. The top lane was actually not as much pressure as I kind of felt it was. Silent Spirit, he's not going to get that Aegis the Immortal. He is still going to jump inside the pit. This is where he went last time. He got the kill on Vanskull. So was able to reach him with just a jump into Slant of Fierce Searing Chain. Getting the combo off on just the solo hero as well, because he didn't jump to anything else.
Meanwhile, Medusa's picked up an MKB. I think this is the first time I've actually seen him MKB on this hero in competitive.
He kind of needs it though, doesn't he? Yeah, you got the full butterfly over on the sniper, so it's the only way you can attack directly. I don't think it's the first time I've seen a Monkey King Burrow. Whenever you go up against evasion heroes, it's kind of the solid item to get. Before getting a Skadi,
yeah.
Before getting a Skadi, maybe I'd be more surprised then, but he's already got that, so he's fine. Top lane,
Yeah.
Aloha Dance is dead. Blink in from Goldblack, and this those initiations. Even going to commit the finger of death to ensure it. But it's these initiations that just give Na'Vi now the numbers advantage. I love the way he's building in now, Horvost. So he's going for a diffuser blade as this Juggernaut.
Tower is under attack.
What's oh, he wants to purge the Ghost Scepter, right?
Yep.
Okay.
So it's,
The problem with that though
guaranteed
is
kill.
yeah, but the problem with that though is you're investing so much on support.
Oh!
my-
Yoki! He ran in close because he had the Shadow Blade. Phobos will still get the ulti off, which means Yoki will die here. Havor's managed to also get his Omni Slash off, standing his ground, surprisingly battling up against a hero like the Magnus. Always want to fly. He can't. The poison, no! The touch was on him. The Nova wore off, but the touch was still on him. It was only a poison touch.
Yeah,
oh, the Sting, sorry.
Shadow Wave just came up. I think he was almost in mid-animation to cast it too. That was, oh, that's so unfortunate. That Veil of Discord, man, that's a game-winning item against supports. You think Ember Spirit is bad. When you get Poison Nova with a Veil of Discord, your life points, it's only a matter of time before it goes down to 1.
With all that power, that was the first time they revealed the Shadow Blade as well on Magnus, which is a little bit of an influence. I know Resolutions also played around with this previously, with that Shadow Blade on the mag. It's just a surprise position you're not expecting, and that's what he got. He Shadow Bladed up, then 4-stuffed into the RP to drag him back underneath the Tier 1 tower. And Empire can bring in all the support they wanted when they're fighting underneath their own Tier 1s. Godblack should be dead.
I was surprised that that fight didn't go as convincingly as it should have, or how I felt it should have anyway. Because with the Stone Gaze, you know, the way they were skewered by the RP, they were facing the Medusa, and the Juggernaut just didn't get stoned up in time, which allowed him to cast that Omni Slash on Yoki and pretty much get the kill out of it. So it's a little bit unfortunate, but I do agree with the Shadow Blade pickup. Again, this game is all about the initiation and jump, because both teams have enough damage to just win the fight outright if they get the right disable on the right targets. Yeah, so there's that.
Is Empire getting ready to try and have a crack at top? They got RP off cooldown in 1 second time, so just a straight blink to RP on a boss. Oh, he missed it! He missed the skewer out! But they still have enough control with the blink into an epicenter. They do also at the same time lose their Ember Spirit down on bottom lane, going down to the sniper. Did you see what controlled him?
Yeah, it was a very, very simple pickup. I mean, Vanscore just came from the side after hiding, dropped the stun, Howl. Sniper actually killed him in like 5 hits. Yeah, I don't know, both carries kind of getting picked off, even though like many playmakers on the opposing teams are missing off the map. And Dendy's just playing so ballsy with the sniper. Ever since Vanscore's just been camping him or being in his proximity, he knows that he can just get swapped out from all the different dangers, possible dangers, because they don't really have a hero that can stick on him. They have good gap closers and they have good initiators, but
Vanscore's in trouble.
Yeah,
that Fissure from Aloha Dance set up. Goldblack, it's not going to make it easy for him. At the same time, I'm surprised he didn't just start draining out the mana from the Medusa. Because Phobos will be able to keep the Medusa back. Between Gale as well as all the Plague Wards. I suppose Medusa's pushing hard enough there. Give me more of that drain, Goldblack. Give me more of that drain.
Yeah, that mana drain is so obnoxious. 120 per second at level 4.
It's the perfect thing up against Medusa. She lives off mana.
Yeah. Honestly, this Lion hero, it has like a solution to almost all the heroes that it plays against. Maybe like heroes like Venomancer are still gonna be annoying no matter what, but just the mana drain allows him to like. Okay, so there's a lot of heroes that when the Lion disables for like 6 seconds, you still don't do too much. Like Bristleback is one of them. If you get hexed up first, which is what they usually cast first because it's instant, then Bristleback just turns his back and starts running the other direction with his bonus movement speed, even under the hex. And then if you impale and finger him, well, you're basically killing yourself because he starts reacting with quills and you do less damage. But this mana drain allows him to just sit there and take away Bristle's, you can almost say his mobility too, because if he doesn't have the Warpath stacks from being able to spam out Quill Spray and Nasal Goo, then he's really slow and he's potential to getting, he's potent to kiting.
We got a little bit of trouble coming up for Na'Vi, or great things for Empire. It's a 3-man. Oh, whoa, whoa. Lion and Vanscore didn't stand a chance. They got Slider Fitted down. Phobos is still going to jump in with that Blink Dagger and the Veil of Discourse, and all the damage is being turned around. The Stone Gates are down from Resolution, but Avos, he's too fast and will TP himself away to safety. The Skewer comes in, but it's already too late. Silence not looking too healthy, and he's being poison stinged. This is actually really bad for him. He has enough life. He has enough life.
Yeah. One more tick of the Poison Nova with the Veil, and he would have died, I think. Because, yeah, that's a level 3 Poison Nova.
Yep.
It's a close one. Close call. Honestly, Toby, it goes to show, like, this game, whoever gets the jump will just win these fights outright.
Yep. And that wasn't even a jump. That was a Sleight of Fist.
Yeah.
Like, one Sleight of Fist basically took out both Lion as well as Vengeful Spirit.
Yeah.
That's how that fight began.
Dude, playing supports against the late game Ember who's like near 5-6 slotted again, and this time there's an Empower to boot. You're not gonna enjoy it. If they get one crit on you and there's like one creep next to you, you get splashed, you're dead. There's just no stopping it. You really need Ghost Scepters.
Poor little Lavorst. No, should I say poor little Lavorst? He's not that poor. He's got 3.3k gold now over on this Juggernaut. But when you got a Medusa that can just stand her ground now, also with Butterfly, it's like the perfect combination you've got. Both of your damage dealers from Team Empire have the Monkey King bar. So Vorst, even if he went for a Butterfly, he wouldn't evade anything. So there's no point in building into that. Well, actually, there is because it's a good item, but still, he's not going to get the evasion part out of it.
I think he really needs a Basher. I think he needs Abyssal ASAP. And then maybe after Abyssal, he even goes for a Shadow Blade or a Blink himself. This game is all about the jump. If he gets the jump with his Omni Slash on any critical target too, just like the Sleight of Fist, he'll be able to knock out the team fight pretty convincingly. So
it's like Empire want to try and have another crack at this. The Plague War defense will be prepped from Phobos. In fact, he's just left a couple on the bottom, so that lane can have its momentum out. And Empire, I kind of feel like a lot of pressure is also on the back of this Magnus. It's difficult to get the advantage. Actually, why isn't there a sentry on top? I was about to say this. It's difficult to get the advantage with the RP when you can't see into the enemy base, but when you're given high ground like this, it's a lot easier. He even moves himself inside the trees, waiting for Na'Vi to move into this area. That's his box where he believes he can murder everybody. And then he walks into said box.
Oh dear, this might be a solo RP incoming.
Yep, he gets Dandy. God Black too late on the stun. The Stone Gates will go, and Avos has to turn his back towards this. You've already lost Dandy. Where's your buybacks, however? You've only got one on the Juggernaut. He's going to have to use it right now. Vanscore's dropping quickly, and Phobos also caught out. He'll get the ulti off. It connects on 3. He did also manage to get the Gale, so Silence can be a little bit more cautious about this, but they realize that it's just, and it's inevitable. Na'Vi were going to lose this game. Empire just had too much power behind their cause. So GG.
Yeah, it really comes down to the positioning again. If the Magnus is able to get that kind of RP and the Vengeful Spirit cannot follow up with an immediate swap due to the surprise factor, then that's just how the game goes. Unfortunately, Dandy didn't have buyback either, as he just finished one of his next big critical items. I believe it was the Daedalus completed. But regardless, it's just how the game goes.
Well, the way this game went, that's our first game to Team Empire. We'll have game number 2 after this short break, so grab yourself a beverage, and we'll see you here for game number 2 of Empire versus Na'Vi.